Hi guys, it's Jamie here, and today we're going to run through 12 different designs for these pockets because I keep getting asked to show my design process and my thoughts. If you aren't interested in that, this is time stamped, this whole video, so you can just skip to the bits that you want to watch, miss out things that you don't want to watch. All you have to do is click that little V-shape arrow and it will drop down in the description, and then you will see the timestamps and they're highlighted in blue. Just click on one of those and you can move forward to it. I have done, actually it's 10, I think 10 designs because some are very similar, and I've tried to vary it up to show you different ideas, and we are going to get into it right now. I thought I would go back to using book pages. I'm going to do some sort of stash building projects. This is inspired by Roxy Creations and it's actually her 100-day project. We're going to make some window pockets, actually make the pockets. Normally, as you know, I use junk mail for that. First thing she did, and I think is a good idea, is because book pages are generally quite slim, she glued two together. That's it, just as many pages as you want to do. I'm going to use my little die cut machine so that you can see it going through to make the pocket. I am going to cut these pages down so they will fit. Now we're going to cut the windows into them, and I have this little machine here, tiny one. Pop that in there, pop that on top. Through 3 times, and then she reused this tape, so I'm assuming mine will come up without ripping the paper too much. Nope, mine rips the paper. Okay, so that's the tag, and then that's the window. All these have been cut out, and then to get the right width on these pages, what I'm actually going to do is take off, by tearing, the margin areas all the way around. I will do that with this big pile here. We have 12 of these to design. I have my scrap box to one side, the one that I recently cleared of all the scraps because it was doing my head in. I'm going to try and do something different on each design just so that there's a good variety as this stash builder. This one I'm going to stick some napkin down that's sitting in the scrap box. It's down to 1 ply already because it's been used on something else. I can't remember what. Time passes very quickly. Well, that or I just have no memory. Putting a layer of Mod Podge on this background page and getting the napkin and sticking it over. I'm going to cover the whole page, put some Mod Podge over the top gently. Don't want to rip it, making sure I've got it all covered. I need to dry, but what I can do is take some of this spare off, hopefully, and then get one of the window pockets. Start to decorate a matching window pocket using some of this on here, tearing bits to get the most out of it. So I'm going to put a bit of that one there. We've got a bit of flower or something here. I feel like we need to do something with this and scrub that out with a bit of white gesso so we get that paint splattered effect. That's obviously the main bit, and I'm just wondering about if we need to do it on this because this is going on top of this. Probably need to do it on the background paper as well, just a touch. Or I say just a touch, no such thing, of course. That now goes with that. What do we need to do next? Need to do something with that when it's dry. Probably stain it a little bit with vintage photo or another colour. Let's have a look through the scrap box, see what we've got that might add to this. We have some stickers in the scrap box. So can we put a sticker over the whole of that? And if we do, then we need to put the picture and the acetate in here. Oh yeah, I like that one. I do actually have some proper acetate, but I also have some packaging. To get it onto the edge, I'm going to use, I am getting very messy, a finger, because I don't want the glue going all over the acetate. This will be very hard to see on camera because obviously everything is see-through at this point. It's actually quite hard for me to see. So let's get that sealed down. I have this book on the 1920s and 30s. I'm going to have a quick look and see if there's any photograph or anything in here that will make a good picture. Because obviously it's going to have to be that way, you know, lengthways. Now this is actually Paris, but I don't think it matters. You can see I've cut things out already. That works, but I'm going to have that big flower there and that would end up covering her up. Hold on, we've got a family, but then is the flower going to cover up the dad? Maybe, but I don't mind that. That looks okay. And then that would go there. We can bring it just over that window. I think I want to get some vintage photo on this. Just scrub over these bits. Probably go around the edges as well. Stain that flower a bit. Could do a stamp and then maybe a label. Not sure yet. Could do something like that. No, I don't like that bit. Do I just want a central journaling spot? Do you know what? I might just want a central journaling spot. Right, that's decided that. Just want to get some little clips on this to make sure it dries, holding against here. I think the other thing I'd like to do is take those off that corner, give it a bit more of a design feature. Yeah, definitely better. As I'm trying to do something different on every single one of these, what I'm going to take is this printable here and create a central part, just one of these advert sections, and mat it and layer it onto this one. I have this lovely little Norman Rockwell book that I picked up in a second-hand shop. I think this is going to be ideal for pictures for this project. There's just so many different pictures here. I'm going to go through and find one suitable for this one. Pop that in the window and we will decorate the outside with a few bits and that will basically be done. I do want to do the pocket as a wrap round. I'm going to bring it down and see if we can get that to wrap around successfully. Slightly slanting. Oh well, just grunge it up a bit. Okay, that one's bigger than that one. They'll all fit on an A5. Let's go with another one. I have, from the Gothic Horror Journal, these very grungy looking bits of napkin. And I might do this as a background. Bit of Mod Podge. Put on our It stripes. I have another pocket. And I will probably get some stripes going along at least one side of this. Going with the idea of keeping things simple, I've cut some red boxes here, a dictionary definition, and I'm thinking of mounting that onto maybe another red box or a piece of red card. I do have a piece of red card actually in a scrap box somewhere, which I think might work. Let's have a look. And then maybe outline it just with some black pen. That as the window, so there's no actual decoration. you can write on this bit, have that as a little bit of decoration. I think that actually works quite well. Okay, so I'm going to put all of this together and we'll see if it needs anything else. I found one more piece that I would like to use, which was that recorder. I've edged this one in black, but I actually do also want to edge these in black because this is going to be quite a dramatic look. I'm hoping that will still fit. It may not. Doesn't really matter though if it doesn't. Yeah, you can just about get it in. Okay, and we're going to stamp over it anyway. I have my usual, my favourites I suppose, labels and stamps. Cool, that's quite nice. Now we want this cut down so it fits over that, something along those lines. And I might do another stamp but a circular one. Quite know which way it goes, but I'm going to deliberately smear it anyway. I will also quickly go around these edges. For the next one, I have this book, which is National Geographic, the photographers, and you can see all these reindeer, which of course is quite Christmassy, and I thought that might make a nice picture window if we can get them like that. And therefore I looked through my napkin stash and found this robin. With this we need to get it down to just one ply. Not necessarily covering the whole thing. Grab the Mod Podge, cover it. We need to let this dry. I think this might look nice with some plants on it. And that is quite deliberate before you kind of think crazy, because I want to come over that. But I probably should have left the whole plant on. There is a solution. We're going to solve the slight problem of that plant by, I think I'm going to try to get it on the back of there. Kind of works. When it dries, what we'll probably do is treat it with a bit of vintage photo or something. Possibly should rub away at that so you see more of those elk. I'm not a massive fan of this one. Let's see if I can make myself more of a fan. I think what I'd like to do next with this one, because it is meant to be Christmassy, and I've stained this a little bit with the vintage photo, so I think it looks really nice but less Christmassy, is to throw some snow over it. I'm going to cover that up because I don't want that going, and move those out the way as well, and see if I can get this to just snow splash a bit. Take that off. Hopefully that has protected that little window. So I think all that's left to do is edge this with some vintage photo. Okay, nice. Went through the scrap box because I felt like I wasn't using much in the way of scraps, and found all these sunflower ones from when I did the Dolce Vita journal. So I've cut those into squares, or punched them out into squares, using my, I think it's a 1 inch, might be 2 inch square punch. That doesn't look very good. That one seems to have worked. And I thought we might try and do like a patchwork quilt. Just actually put them down. Obviously they're not going to quite fit, but I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just going to have a quick look. We'll cover that with a Mod Podge top layer. I also found, whilst scrabbling in this scrap box, things like this, and there's no reason why she has to be glued to the window. She could be glued to where it's going. Well, you could have her like that, mind. It's kind of cute, isn't it? I am going to try and stamp with white. Have this archival Archival Brilliance in Moonlight White. But we're going to give this a go and see what happens. If we put this stamp on here, does it even show up? No. Okay, we're not going to try that then. That one didn't work. What we shall do is we shall try with the paint pen something else. I'm going to try at the bottom actually, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Try doing a kind of zigzaggy stitch. It's cute. I don't know whether I need to zigzag around that or not. Possibly need to put a strip of paper down just so that it kind of links, and then probably do a zigzag down this bit. To edge this one, I'm going to edge it with the Lemonade. I can't remember what it's called. Oops, that's not quite the right shade. I've cross-contaminated all that. Never mind. Squeeze Lemonade it might be. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, Squeeze Lemonade. Nice. Quite like that. Makes a change as well from Vintage Photo. The next one, sticking with the sunflower theme, I was flicking through a Watercolour Fairies painting book, which I think is at least 12, 13 years old. Found this and thought I'm going to fussy cut this out. So looking for something where the detail was at the bottom, so that if you put the pocket over it, you would still get some of the detail showing. Don't need to overly fussy cut it. I've cut this out with a little white border because I prefer it that way. That is the only reason. I think I'm so used to using stickers and having the white border now that that's just the look I prefer. I think I have a bit of the sunflower napkin left, and we could put this on the pocket. With this one, all that's been done is the flowers been stuck down, it's been distress inked with the Squeeze Lemonade, everything's been trimmed up and put together. I think that's number 5 or 6 now. 6, that's number 6 in the stash builder. I've pulled out this book, which I've bought secondhand for £1.50, about $2. And in it, it has lots of botanical pictures. Probably fussy cut it out so that we want something so that when that's down, you get a good display behind the pocket. On this one, I've used a napkin again, which is one of my favourite ways to decorate anyway. The fussy cut of the plant, the one that's heavy at the bottom, so there's something in the pocket. And I've stained around the edges with another one of my favourite Distress Oxides, which is the Salvage Patina. But what I've also done, as well as go around the edges, I've actually gone over the paper a little in places, not everywhere, to create a bit more, something different again. It's quite fun doing borders with different colours than just the Vintage Photo. From the pocket of the last one we did, we have some leftover napkin. I am going to cover the whole of the background with the napkin. From the same book as the flowers, I've got this sepia toned picture of cottages, and I'm going to use that to fill the window this time. This time I'm going to colour the envelope with the Victorian velvet, which is the dusky pink. I might squirt some water on it. Get a more natural splodgy look to it. I want to collage this a little bit further, just some labels and adverts and things like that. This one, for example, which I might actually edge in the pink and pop that down. And then we've got some extra tickets and bits and pieces that could go on there. Number here, possibly there. I know there's going to be a pocket there, and that some of this will be hidden. I pop that one there. Could almost do a angle one, just building up a little something. I'll let that dry off. Debating whether you put a flower over the whole of that. I think you could. Of course, a lot of that won't be seen, so we can come higher up and do it there. Doesn't matter what's underneath it. Let's just quickly run through what's been done to this. So I've added some of the napkin to the pocket. I've put another sticker down which was stained, as was this one eventually, with some vintage photo. I've added one of the labels here, and then I've done some of the stamps and postmark stamping all along the side to try and bring the two pieces together and make them look one cohesive piece of ephemera. And now we move on to the next one. Different look again. I've been debating what to do with this one as well. And I'm going to take another napkin as a background, and I'm going to do it on both the background and the pocket, because I have a beautiful one of hummingbirds that's got lots of lovely green in it. Here's the napkin. It is stunning. It's one of my favourites. I'm going to do what we've done in the previous designs, pop this down with Mod Podge, put a layer of Mod Podge over the top. I will come back when all that's done and dry. I made a mistake with one backing paper, so I ended up having to do a second, which meant a second envelope. So with this envelope, I've just kept it to a small see-through pocket, which I love. I think that looks really pretty. With this one, what I've done is, I don't know if you can see that, but I've actually backed it on the inside quite deliberately to make it stronger, and left the napkin on. So the napkin becomes part of that envelope, but there is a translucency to it, and that's going to go on the bottom as well. And therefore you've got the same napkin and pocket, but two different ways. To finish these ones off, I've been using the peeled paint distressing, which is a green. It's quite an old-fashioned looking green. I have another great second-hand book find here, which was about $3, £2.50, and it's called Mapping the Railways. I know, not something I'm normally into, therefore probably quite cheap. And as you can see, it's got maps, but it's also got some of these advert type things, prettier maps, so that could actually be the background. I've edged around this one with the vintage photo. I've matted and layered that, and then put this behind the plastic on this one. That one to me is done. That's suitable for a journal on trains and transport, or a travel journal. I picked up this book very recently in a second-hand shop that doesn't normally sell books, so it was fabulously cheap, under 50 cents, 20p, something like that. And as you can see, it's a kids book, and I do recommend looking at kids books, and it's got so many illustrations and bits and pieces. And it's still railways, and I have some left over from what we've just cut. So I'm going to look through this and find something suitable for the pocket and use some of the leftover for the background. That is the final design done. So we have two that are very similar. This one, I just cut that to match that, and I stained up that little steam train background to be a similar colour. I probably should have done it on that one. These two are very similar as well. One with the see-through pocket, one with a semi-transparent pocket, and then all the others are basically different. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help. YouTube, push the video out to more potential viewers. Also do consider subscribing. I try to upload, I think I'm currently on 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 5, depends on my paying workload. This does not pay. And let me know what you think of these designs and the idea of building some stash in the comments below. And I will see you next time.